Alright guys, I'm going to try and get through this as quick as possible. I'm doing this again on my on the opposite side of the phone here so that I can show you some stuff on the TV here. As one of my regular subscribers has said, my videos are kind of like previews to the movie. I'm not going to show you the whole movie, but I'm going to show you just enough of the high points or the highlights that I find interesting, and I'm going to let you know where you can go and watch these. Where you can go and watch these. Obviously, I could not find my black glasses this morning. I think they fell behind the bed. But I do need something here to be able to see what the hell I'm doing. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with Terry. A little highlight reel, so to speak, as you call it. It's going to be Terry. Then we're gonna do. We're gonna go back to the Jist, which did a video with Houston Wade. We're gonna do a part of that, and then we're gonna go in and do a part of Cyntax's story. That it's now been almost 24 hours since she posted that. She's only got 383 views, and I want to go ahead and help you guys, help as many people to go over and see her story as possible. There's a lot of MMTLP stories that need to be watched, and people should be paying attention to, because she is MMTLP. I am MMTLP. And we have a lot of stories here that do need to be told. And we need the proper people at the SEC and at FINRA to see these stories, because we're not going away. You're not stealing our opportunity. You're giving it back to us in the way it needs to be given back to us. Otherwise, obviously, we'll take whatever you give us, but then there will be a class action suit, because we will get our opportunity cost out of this. Let's go ahead and turn this back around over here. Let's zoom in. If I can push the right button here. Give me a minute. Oh, there we go. And let's zoom into Terry. Let's go into Terry's here a little bit real quick. Terry's talking about buy buttons again.
Hello.
Little commercial real quick. Talk about previews.
Since our launch in 2019, we've received thousands of requests for an electric trike,
e-bike,
which means a...
That's right. So if you watched yesterday's video, you were familiar with this tweet here from I Am Wedge, talking about the buy and sell buttons here and how they are possibly going to be turned back on. And this was on TD Ameritrade, and here you can see the screenshot.
I'll rewind that. I like the way that sounds, don't you?
Right. So if you watched yesterday's video, you were familiar with this tweet here from I Am Wedge, talking about the buy and sell buttons here and how they are possibly going to be turned back on. And this was on TD Ameritrade, and here you can see the screenshot was taken yesterday, February 14th, 2023, where the buy and sell buttons are turned back on. Buy market and sell market are turned back on for TD Ameritrade. Now, before we get there real quick, had another person message me over here on Twitter to give me...
All right, they're talking about taxes here and all the brokerages, and they're not filing they want extensions on the taxes, and that's a whole big another mess that ties into this. But let's go back to the button.
And he shot me a message saying, I'm concerned because my brokerage account now does not have my shares of MMTLP or the contra CUSIP number that they threw against it. And he started sending me screenshots. We were talking all day, so huge props, and thank you to Michael for getting me this information. So this will really pertain to First Trade. As you saw there, Wedge's post was for TD Ameritrade on the, I believe, desktop version. So this here is going to be First Trade, and this person was sending me these screenshots. So first thing here we can see, shows the total balance of $4.47, which we know.
Let's talk about the button.
You have your loose money in there left. So they sent me this here. Look at this here. MMTLP has the last price, has the buy button is lit up here, guys. And you can preview and order. You can sell, short, cover. Now, the buy button is lit up here. So we were having conversations on this. So as you see here, moving forward, he clicked on the button there, and it says OTC, BB, and pink sheet orders can only accept limit prices. So we're going to zoom in on this bad boy, so that way you can see it nice and clear.
Oh, the guy's getting the text from on Twitter. If you want to go ahead and follow him, is I Am Wedge, which is all one word, and Wedge is obviously WEDGE.
I told him, like, hey, go try to buy it and see what it does. So that's what we want to see. What's going to happen on some of these brokers if the buy button's lit up? What happens? So this is the first message that he got. Moving forward here. Then he went and checked his order status, and he went to all. Now, I believe this here shows February 13th, NextBridge Hydrocarbons had his shares of 442 shares, and here it shows negative 442 shares. So it seems like that they possibly transferred his shares to AST, or are they going to give him a new contra CUSIP number, or are they going to be NextBridge Hydrocarbons?
Hey, just keep flip-flopping them CUSIP numbers and changing the CUSIP numbers. It seems like less than every 30 days. It's to keep us all on our toes and try to confuse us as much as possible. God knows we don't want to figure out how many shares are actually out there or how many actual investors are there. We know there's only supposed to be 65,000 investors, 165 million shares.
But things are getting very interesting over here on First Trade right now. So we're going through the progression here of these screenshots that we got. Now it's going to get some really interesting ones here coming up. This is where I said, hey, go in there and try to buy a share. And he said, well, it's only going to let me do a limit order. I said, put a limit order. Well, he went to do that, and this pops up.
Sorry, I was talking. Yeah, go and do a limit order.
This is where I said, hey, go in there and try to buy a share. And he said, well, it's only going to let me do a limit order. I said, put a limit order in. Well, he went to do that, and this pops up. Liquidation only. What have we talked about possibly being the resolution and the thing that would make this right? What?
All right. That's interesting. You know what? If they try to rig this to the point where they can go ahead and cover the short positions, things are kind of frozen up, and all the shorts get to go ahead and cover at about $2.90 a share, which, if we're in a live market, that exactly is what's going to keep the price of it going up to $3, $4, $5, $6, $20, $30, $40, $50, $100, $200, $300, $400. But if everyone gets to that $2.90, we're not going to get what we should get, and that's where the again, we'll take what we can, and that's where the class action suits will come in, which unfortunately take years, and that's the reason why nobody's trying to do that. We want FINRA and the SEC to do what's right. We keep trying to call out, what's that guy's name? George? Is it not? The one that's in charge of the SEC there. It's so obvious they got buddies they're trying to protect. It's so obvious. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on here real quick because otherwise we're going to be on this forever. Let's go ahead and listen to a little bit of what was going on with Houston here. And he's talking about
My name's Snehal Patel, and I'm the founder of Simpler Hair Color, a safer and simpler way to dye your hair.
I don't know who's getting paid.
Hedge fund. Okay, this stock's going to trade for a whole bunch. How about...
I don't know who's getting paid for all these commercials, but I sure as hell ain't making a dime on it. Where are we here? All right, episode 313. What's called The Chatter, but it's on the show, a show called The Jist. Now, this was out 2 or 3 days ago and only has 1,100 views, so I don't mind showing you a little bit about this and trying to explain or showing some highlights of that, and trying to throw a few more of you over to The Gist to go ahead and subscribe and watch what he's got going on there. Although he doesn't do a whole lot of MMTLP. I wish he would do a lot more of that, but let's see where we were here.
Any of your short shares?
Yeah, they get banned
Like you say,
from Twitter
deleted.
and just...
Yeah. So if you say deleted, it means like the stock still exists. It's just not on the exchanges. So they had to change that on the 8th.
Not far enough. We're going to go to 28. All right, first starts talking about MMTLP. Hey, I appreciate all you that are kind of hanging out with me. It's, I think it's Thursday. Yeah, it was. Yesterday was Wednesday because I was watching the challenge. And I appreciate y'all just hanging out with me. This obviously is a little bit longer than a normal video, but Hey, I'm going to go ahead and show you some of Cyntax video next, and some of her story, which I recommend you go to her channel, watch the whole story. But I'm going to give you like a highlight clip of that one, or at least a few minutes of that.
You want to sell, right? You want to make sure that it's got the highest, assay of gold possible. So you do what's called salting the mine. You buy some gold, you throw it around the mine so anyone comes to inspect goes, oh, there's just gold laying around everywhere here. This place is worth a fortune. And that's an old tactic they used to do. So, like fraud isn't new. It's just this is a new way.
All right, come on, get into it.
I'm talking to bird lady roller pigeons.
Nice.
Yeah. So
we already saw that one in my yesterday video, the highlight of it. Again, go to Roller Pigeon Bird Lady's site there, and again, the Jist, and like, subscribe, and all that crap.
well, she's going to give me the real story, but do you want to give me the TLDR for people to preview that if they haven't heard about this story?
Yes, just like any other stocks, this thing was naked shorted by money market makers and hedge funds and everything. Likely to the tune of billions of shares, at least 300 million, if not more. That's the censuses that have been done show that there's probably 300 million plus, and very likely.
That's Bird Lady's figures. There's a lot of people doing numbers out there showing 500 million to a billion shares, which would, could make our price be worth anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 a share.
More than a billion shares, and so this oil company is called Torchlight. They were, during COVID, when oil prices went negative, and people are like, oh, oil prices went negative? Yeah, because no one was flying, no one was driving, no one was shipping anything. All this oil is still getting pumped out of the ground. They have nowhere to store it, so they had to pay people.
Although the value of Nextbridge at that time, which wasn't called Nextbridge, was practically nothing, because if they're not pumping oil out, there's no value. And they kept the value down intentionally, but the shorts didn't understand this, and that's where they kind of got stupid and thought, oh, well, we can short this into nothing, which kind of was working.
They'll just take it off their hands, right? So oil went negative.
Until Meta stepped in.
Torchlight is a prospective company. Like, they've got a big giant oil field. It's got 3-4 billion barrels of oil, but they don't have the infrastructure yet to move it anywhere and to pump in large quantities, because they're still raising capital to develop this field. So shorts went, delicious. Oil's negative. Let's hammer this company, and they shorted it down to 21 cents or something. I think was the lowest it'd gone, and they're about to be delisted by the Nasdaq because they've been under $1 for too long. And along came Metamaterial, this Canadian tech company, and they said, hey, we want to be listed on the Nasdaq. You guys are about to die. Let's merge. We'll take your ticker, and then we'll just sell off your oil assets and give everyone a special dividend who had your stock. And fortunately, I was like, okay.
And that was the beginning. And let's move along a little.
Someone went to FINRA and went, yo, lads, this shouldn't be trading. So therefore, there's some sort of weird, quite possibly illegal activity going on. And FINRA were like,
Pretty much.
Yep, they allowed the ticker to go ahead, and FINRA did, and this was FINRA, again, trying to look out for the buddies in the hedge funds and their little richy riches and stuff, and it's so freaking obvious.
So GTX, which is this market maker that's owned by Ari Rubenstein, and I can't remember the name of the other one.
All right, all that stuff you can catch in the video, just a bunch of whatever.
So FINRA didn't do it. 2 weeks went by, and finally on the 6th of December,
he's just saying that FINRA was supposed to give out a notice for the shorts to cover, and he never did. That's what that big fast forward was.
6 days before this whole thing's supposed to stop trading, there's 7th, 8th, 9th, and 12th.
Still not a notice out.
Left. They finally issue a corporate action saying, hey guys, it turns out this ticker is not going to be trading anymore. Because of settlement, if you buy before the 8th of December, you've got T+2, you'll get your Nextbridge shares. If you buy after, the settlement is going to have to be up to whoever the seller is, and you have to figure that out for yourselves.
But there was supposed to be a notice of all short positions to close. But see, instead of closing on the 8th, we all know what happened. They started shorting the hell out of it from $12.50 all the way down to $2.90. All right, so go ahead and watch the rest of this video if you're interested in it. And if you want more details of it, it's just telling a little bit more of our story. But speaking of our story, Cyntax. She has, to a certain degree, a heart-wrenching story, as well as a lot of us do. We're going to go ahead and preview this. If you notice, it's been almost 20, I think it's been almost 2 days now. We only have 383 views on that. So I'm going to go ahead and bring some light to this one.
So yeah, I had surgery on the 14th, and by the 19th of December, because I couldn't drive, I had my son who was visiting for...
Hold on, we're going to go back a couple minutes.
No one was selling. No one was selling. I mean, what?
This pretty much just picks up from where Houston was. Oh, wait a minute. Let's go ahead and just throw my pretty little face in here for a minute so that it isn't all about just the highlights of what's going on there in the MMTLP world. I'm not quite sure where I'm framed up in this, but it is what it is. Her story continues pretty much on where Houston Wade just ended. We're about to... they illegally put MMTLP on the market. A lot of us, instead of selling, which is what they thought we were going to sell at a cheap price, we would have thought that was our dividends, and holy crap, thank you God, there's some money and we're all going to sell. But we knew the value of our asset. We knew the value of our share. We knew that we were probably looking at anywhere from a low of $35 a share, on up to over $100 a share, especially with the price of oil keep going up. And as I just stated, we thought we had to the 12th. According to the S1 that was filed by the company, we had until the 12th. But all of a sudden on the 8th, just before it was U3 halted, the shorts just started shorting, which made it so obvious. Come on. It's so obvious that they were shorting it because they knew that they were never going to have to cover. And the people in the government know about it. And everyone's acting like they don't know anything. But let's go ahead and go back to Cyntax's story a little bit. We're going to wrap up with this. And there are literally thousands and thousands of stories out there because, as you all know, there is a lot of retail investors that are involved in the MMTLP play. And we're not like AMC or any of them because our company was going private. By law, the shorts had to cover.
Why would they? Because we're all anticipating, like, there's a lot of people that want to go into Next Bridge. They want to take their shares of...
Our worst case scenario was we were going to get a Next Bridge share, which none of us have. Over 65 days later.
I mean, it had been at like $12, and then they had it at $10, but then they shorted it down to $2.90, and no one was selling. No one was selling. I mean, why would they? Because we're all anticipating, like, there's a lot of people that want to go into Next Bridge. They want to take their shares over there, but there's a lot of people, who wanted to sell. And why would you sell if the shorts haven't been forced to close yet? Because this is a unique squeeze opportunity where it's not like really retail purchasing that creates the squeeze, it's the covering, right? And so it just made sense for people to hold out a little bit, but then we're seeing it short and we're like, okay, this is weird. Maybe they just want to bring the price down before they have to cover, and so we wait. But on the 9th at like 1 a.m. ish, FINRA, and they issue something called a U3 halt, which indicates that there was a significant event. There was liquidity issues. They halt our stock. They halt the stock that was never supposed to even trade. It was devastating to so many because it's supposed to be canceled by like the 14th, like the 13th is the last day for closing, and they halted it. They basically said, hey, shorts, you don't have to cover your position, and then they created this mess because all these short positions are still open, all these counterfeit shares, and then there's this private company that needs this reconciliation because they only have 165 million seats at the table. I mean, they can't dilute to accommodate for all of these shares that have been introduced illegally into the market. So FINRA doing that, maybe the DTC, they opened up the books and they went, oh my gosh, there's so many counterfeit shares, because we've got this whole decade of torch, and then we've got, even after MMTLP started trading, when people just started buying and buying and buying, and essentially they were probably buying these synthetic counterfeit shares. And it was probably a scenario, and I don't know because I wasn't there, but I envision that it was probably a scenario where they look at it and they go, oh my gosh, this is such a mess. This is going to create a market event that is going to be very detrimental, and it's going to shake to the core people's views and opinions on the security of the market.
Yeah, great. But in the meantime, the Richies get to keep their money, and what? We sit here Uber riding because some of us don't have a car at the moment. Well, not only should we have a car, we should have a sports car. What the hell?
We have to halt this.
Over 65 days now?
And so they did.
Probably 70, I don't know.
And, the 14th goes by and time keeps going by. Funny enough, I had to have a hysterectomy, and I had it scheduled for the 14th because I was like, oh, all my trading stuff will be done. I'll have all my shares that I needed to go into next bridge, and then I'll sell some and blah, blah, blah. So yeah.
All right. Her channel is Cyntax. Go into the search thing and hit Cyntax, Cyntax, and then channel. Then type in channel, and that'll bring up Cyntax's channel. Let's see what she has here. She's got a lot of followers on Twitter, but see, when she has something to say or wants to say something, I can't see how many followers she has, but she always has something real good to say. She's a very intelligent woman, and she's on the live chats a lot, which I was going to put one of the live chats in here, and there's a lot of people thinking that we're going to open up any minute now. And the main thing is to go ahead and like and subscribe anyone that's involved in this play, and share this with anyone that you can share this with, and let's keep the momentum going. Let's show FINRA, and let's show the SEC, the DTCC. Did I say that right? DCTT, no, DTCC. Let's show them all we're not going away. And they know this. And that's why a lot of what you'll hear on the Twitter chats is a lot of talk about the market opening back up. But last night, I wish I'd grabbed my camera and hit record quick enough. I'm very new to Twitter. I actually, since this started over 65 days ago, had 40 followers for like over a decade, and now I have like 300 some odd followers. So those of us that are talking about it are getting more followers. Obviously, Twitter isn't. I think Cyntax has like 10,000 plus followers. So she's getting the message out her way. I'm getting the message out my way. But I do want you to go ahead and subscribe to her. And she doesn't post near as much. Nobody posts near as much as I do. But she's always got a good message to say, and she's always kind of in the know of what's going on. And let's just keep pushing this along. All right, y'all have a good day.